Hey everybody, today I'm going to be giving an in-depth tutorial for Zone 1 Crypt of the Necrodancer. I noticed there aren't many tutorials out there, so I thought I would just dive into the enemies, mini-bosses, bosses, and extra things like traps and walls to help you improve your Crypt of the Necrodancer playing. Starting off, we have low threat enemies. These are unlikely to cause you much harm, but you still need to know how to take care of them. Okay, first up we have the green slime. This is the easiest enemy in the game. It cannot harm you without an extremely elaborate setup. All you need to do is walk over to it and attack it. That's literally it. Next up we have the blue slime. This enemy moves up and down every other beat. The easiest way to take care of it is to attack it from the side, as it will never move sideways. If you move up and down until you're in line with the slime, then you can hit it twice, and yeah, as I say, you will not get hit. It's a very simple enemy. You can attack it from below, as I do here, but it's generally just easier to attack from the side. Now we have the white skeleton. Another simple enemy. It moves its hands up before it's about to move. It moves every other beat and dies in one hit. So as long as you just don't move towards it while its hands are in the air, you'll also not get hit. If you do find yourself to be desynced, you can just move backwards until you're synced up, or you can just hit a wall or do any other action to waste a beat and then attack the enemy. We're now going to be taking a look at the zombie. This enemy moves every other beat in one direction until it hits a wall, at which point it will turn around and head the other way. Once again, just like the blue slime, if you attack it from the direction that it's not going, then you won't get hit. You can also attack it from behind. It doesn't do much damage if you do get hit, but it's just easier to attack it from the side, and that way you won't get hit in the first place. The ghost has an interesting mechanic where it will only move towards you when you're turning away from it, sort of like the boos in Mario. The best way to tackle this enemy is just to move straight up to it and then start moving away and hit it as soon as it starts moving towards you. The only way you can really take damage to the ghost is if it's one beat away from you and it's heading towards you, and the action that you do is not kill it. For example, here I'm digging a wall and I'm taking damage because it's facing towards me. Moving on, we have the medium threat Zone 1 enemies. These enemies can be a bit dangerous. They're generally not too bad, but definitely be alert of them and make sure you learn their patterns. The blue bat is a deceptive enemy because it seems quite easy, but it actually is the only enemy, or the bats are the only class of enemy that move randomly in this game. Every other enemy follows a distinct pattern, but blue bats will move randomly every 2 beats to one of their possible locations. So the best way to deal with these guys is wait until they've just moved and then run in and kill them. Because the blue bats move every other beat, it's not too hard to sync yourself up to them. It is important to note though that if the blue bat has no other squares that it can move to, it will move towards you and attack you. You can negate the bat's randomness with the lucky charm, which drops from the leprechaun, or the lucky ring. This will mean that if the bat has another square to go to, it will not attack you. However, if it still has only one square, you can still get attacked by the bat, so be careful of that. Yellow skeletons are exactly the same as white skeletons, except they have 2 HP. And when they have 1 HP left, their heads will drop off and they'll start moving away in the opposite direction. So what you need to do is just not move towards it when its hands are in the air. So when you see that happening, just learn that when the hands are in the air, move backwards. Otherwise, as you just saw, you will end up getting hit. Once you've moved away from the yellow skeleton, it will have put its hands down. You can then move forward towards it and knock its head off, and then go and chase it if you want the extra gold and kill the headless body. Purple monkeys can be quite threatening because they move every beat, so if you're not synced up with them, then if you move towards them they will grab onto you, at which point you have to hit them 4 times. During this time you can be hit by other enemies, so you're quite vulnerable. The best thing to do is, if you're synced up with them, just hit them once and they'll die. If you're not synced up with them, stall a beat by either hitting a wall or doing any other action such as eating food or hitting another enemy even. Next up we have the orange slimes. These enemies will move around in a square once a beat. So if you stay outside the square, you won't get hit. If you find that you're desynced with them and you're sort of moving around diagonally, then once again stall a beat and then you should be able to hit them with no problems. Yeah, that's really it. You can find yourself to be chased around them like that. But yeah, generally they're not too bad. Just try and sync yourself up with them and then attack them once and they'll die. The Wraith will spawn randomly from certain locations, and it will release that lovely noise when they do. They're very similar to monkeys in their movement patterns because they move every beat. If you find yourself synced up, just attack them once and they'll die. If you're desynced from them, i.e. you're 2 beats away from them, as with most enemies that move every beat, just desync or sync back up with them by hitting a wall. Chest mimics will occasionally replace your chests, and you can tell that a chest is a chest mimic because it will slowly bounce up and down with the beat. What you need to do is move up to them, be 1 square away from them, and then move away. If you hit them immediately, then they will start to hit you. The most consistent way to deal with these guys is move up to them, move away, and then hit them immediately so they're not sort of chasing you around forever. And that wraps up the medium threat enemies. Now we're moving on to the high threat enemies. You should be very aware of these enemies. Try and take care of them as soon as possible because they can cause serious danger to your run. The black skeleton is very similar to the white and yellow skeletons. It just has 3 HP, but once it gets down to 1 HP, its head will pop off and it'll start heading the other way. They also deal a hefty 2 hearts of damage, so definitely try not to get hit by these guys. The best way to deal with them is when they're moving their hands in the air, do not move towards them as with all the skeletons. Instead, try and be an even number of squares away from them. Once this happens, if you move towards the black skeleton, you can then hit it twice in a row, and then the head will pop off and you won't be at risk of getting hit. Red bats are a highly dangerous enemy, and it's very easy to take damage to these guys. The best way to avoid this is by syncing up correctly with them. So if you find that there's 1 tile in between you, find a way to stall for a beat. So usually the best way to do this is just hitting a wall, and then you'll be synced up, and then you can move towards the bat, and then you won't get hit. Just move towards it and attack it once and it'll die. And now we have the white monkey. This enemy moves in exactly the same way as the purple monkey, except it has 2 HP. So if you're synced up with the enemy, just hit it once and then it will move away from you, at which point you can stall by hitting a wall and then attack it again and it will die. If the monkey does grab onto you, you have to hit it 6 times in order to kill him, which is very dangerous, and you can easily lose a run by other enemies attacking you while this happens. So do try not to get hit by these guys. Just if you're in doubt, move away from the enemy until you're sure whether you can move forward safely and attack it, or whether you need to stall for a beat and then attack it. Finally, we have a bit of a weird one. The green bat has a 1 in 400 chance of replacing any bat, so it's very rare to stumble across one of these. They're a highly, highly dangerous enemy, very, very difficult to deal with, especially with a dagger. If you have a ranged weapon, you're much more likely to be able to take care of them safely. If not, you may end up taking hits from them. But the best thing to do is probably to stay a couple of tiles away, maybe diagonally. From my practice, sort of luring them towards a corner was the most consistent strategy to take care of them. But yeah, like I say, they're very rare. You may never see one. Many people go hundreds of hours without seeing one. If you do, just be very careful, play it safe, and they only have 1 HP, so they do die quite easily at least. Well done, you've learned how to conquer all the enemies. Now we move on to the mini-bosses. First up, the green dragon. This enemy moves every other beat and has 4 HP. So the way to take care of the green dragon is to sync yourself up with him, so you're moving every other beat, and when you're not moving, you're attacking it once. When the dragon has 2 HP remaining, you can actually hit it twice because it will die on the 2nd beat and you won't need to worry about moving away. But yeah, the most consistent strategy is to move up and down on the same square until you find yourself 1 tile away from the dragon. Then you hit it and move away and hit and move away and so on until it dies. The red dragon is similar to the green dragon, but has an extra attack, the fireball attack. It has 6 HP, so you can follow the same strategy as with the green dragon, where you attack it once and move away, and attack it once, but just be careful that the dragon will fireball sideways, either left or right, but never up or down. So if you attack it from above or below, it's the safest way to take care of the mini-boss without taking any damage from the fireball. So to recap, you need to hit once and move away, and hit and move away, and if you reach a wall or if you're doing it in a tight space, you then need to move around the dragon and not attack it sideways, because you'll just end up getting hit from a fireball, and work your way round to the other side of the dragon vertically, where you can then continue to hit it once and move away. I also wanted to showcase a fairly complicated but safe way to take care of the red dragon in a 2x2 grid. This involves hitting the dragon, letting it fireball, moving down out of the way of the fireball, moving once towards the dragon and back out, and then it will move down, at which point you hit it and move up and repeat the process. I know that's a lot to take in, but if you practice it in the red dragon training section, you can get quite good at this, and it's very handy to be able to take care of a red dragon in a very small space. Now we have the yellow dire bat. This mini-boss moves exactly like the blue regular bat. It moves every other beat in a random direction. So you want to try and sync yourself up after it's just moved. If you can move directly 1 square away from it after it's moved, you can hit it twice safely and take care of it. You can also hit it once and then move away just to be even safer. But yeah, try and stay diagonally from the enemy and just be safe. Move towards it when you can. Just be careful not to move towards any location that it might move into at the same time. Otherwise, you're rolling the dice. You have a chance to get hit there. Now we have the brown dire bat mini-boss. I kind of always thought this guy looked grey, but apparently it's called the brown dire bat. So the way to take care of this enemy, he's like the exact same as all of the bats, except he has 3 HP. So try and move towards it, attack it once, and then move away, because if you try and attack it multiple times on the same square, you're once again rolling the dice. It can hit you, so play it very safe. If you have the lucky charm or the lucky ring, these guys pose very little threat to you. So now we're down to the last classes of mini-boss for Zone 1, the Minotaurs. Starting off with the Light Minotaur, this enemy will charge towards you when it's in line with you, either horizontally or vertically. When this happens, wait for it to hit a wall, at which point you have 3 beats of leeway to hit it. This is plenty of time to take care of it. It's actually not a very threatening mini-boss. Just be careful, once it starts charging, don't be in the line that he's going to take. Just wait and find the wall that he's going to charge up against, and then sit there until it falls over, at which point hit it up to 3 times. If it's not dead, move away when he gets up again, and repeat the process. And finally, the Dark Minotaur. This mini-boss acts exactly the same as the Light Minotaur, except it has 5 HP, so if you only have 1 damage, you will need to repeat the sort of falling over process once. So once again, let it charge, wait for it to fall over, hit it up to 3 times, and then move away and let it charge again, and just do this over and over until it's dead. And with that, we have taken care of the mini-bosses. Now I'm going to showcase 1 boss each zone, starting off with King Konga in this video, and I'll do the rest of the bosses 1 per video for each of the zones that come after this. King Konga is my favourite boss. I think it's such a fun fight, especially with the changes to the rhythm, where you cannot move every 8th beat. So you need to do 7 beats and then do nothing. The enemies won't attack, don't worry. Just wait there for an extra beat. So to take care of this boss, the most consistent strategy is to move up towards the conga line and have them attacking you from either side. They move every other beat, the zombies in the conga line, so you can actually go left, right, left, right, left, right, and actually take care of them all just from that one position. If you move straight up to below the increased speed trap, then it's very easy to sync yourself up with both lines, at which point you can just take turns attacking left and right and killing all the enemies. If you don't move up as high, the conga lines will start to come down towards you, where you can alternate attacking up and sideways to take care of the 2 conga lines. Another strategy is to attack one conga line at a time. I find this to be much worse. I think the best strategy is just to stand in the middle of the conga lines and attack them as they come. You do need to watch out for the other enemies in the room. In Zone 1 these are the bats, so just be careful of those, make sure they're not coming towards you and attacking you. The ghosts can do this as well. If this happens, just back off, try and take care of the enemies, and then head back towards the conga lines and sync yourself back up. Once you've taken care of the conga lines, King Konga himself will come off his throne and start charging towards you. He moves every beat and can move diagonally, so easiest way to take care of him is just moving side to side or up and down. If he's above you, move side to side, and if he's to the left or right of you, move up or down until he is within 1 square of you. If you're using the dagger, just hit him and then he will teleport randomly, and just repeat the process. So that's how you can consistently kill King Konga. Now we're going to move on to the traps and walls section. These may not seem as important, but they still contribute a lot to the Zone 1 environment, and they can be used to help you as well, so it's good to know what they do. Starting off, we have the cracked walls. Cracked walls can replace any wall tile except for shop tiles. When this happens, you can break them and there will actually be a teleporting pad underneath it. There's several different types of locations that they can take you to. I won't cover that in this video, perhaps in a future one. It's just good to be aware, experiment for yourself and see where they take you. Anytime you see a dirt wall with a blue stone in it that sparkles, make sure to break it because it can have gold or diamonds, which can help you unlock more stuff. Next we have the stone walls. These cannot be broken with the regular shovel, so you need a level 2 shovel, such as the titanium shovel, the pickaxe, or the obsidian shovel when you have a coin multiplier. We also have the brick wall, which requires a level 3 shovel, so this is a pickaxe or an obsidian shovel when you have a coin multiplier of at least 3. We also have the shopkeeper walls and the monstrous shopkeeper walls. These cannot be broken with a regular shovel and instead require a bomb or a blood shovel. The terrain can also be changed in Zone 1 with some water tiles. These require an extra beat to move out of, but once you've done that they will disappear. Enemies can also move into these, and unless they're flying or if they're a mini-boss, they will require a second beat to get out of them as well. We also have the bomb trap. Stepping on this will deploy a bomb which takes 3 beats to detonate, so if you step on them, make sure to move out the way. We also have spring traps that push you and other enemies in the direction that they're facing. Do be aware of these, especially if enemies are using them, because they can move in a different direction that you're expecting, which can be quite dangerous. We also have the spike trap, which will just damage you if you step on it, so don't. But you can move boxes and barrels onto them, which will break them and allow you to get into them. The alternating spike trap will move up and down every beat, so you can actually safely move on to these, although I wouldn't recommend risking it if you sync yourself up correctly. So as you can see here, if you are next to it and the spikes are up, that means that on the next beat the spikes are going to go down. So you can use that to move over them. I would just not recommend this because it's very dangerous if you mess it up. But as I demonstrate here, if you then desync yourself further and step on it, then you will take damage. It's too hard to damage, so generally just try to avoid these. A couple more traps to go. We have the tempo traps, I think they're called. These will change the tempo of the song. If it has 2 arrows facing to the right, it will increase the speed of the song, and 2 arrows facing to the left will decrease the speed of the song. It's important to note that if you activate one of these traps and then use a bomb to blow it up, the tempo will be changed for the rest of the stage, but this will reset when you go to the next level. Trapdoors are a very simple trap. All they do is take you and enemies to the next level. Enemies who walk through trapdoors will die. Mini-bosses can't fall through trapdoors, but you can push boxes and barrels to the next stage and you'll get the item that they hold when you get to the next level. The final wall you can come across is the spiked wall. If you hit these while you have certain shovels, you will take damage. Enemies that dig them will take damage, such as mini-bosses, but as with all spiked traps, you can use them to open up barrels and crates to get their items. So well done if you've made it this far through the video. I know you've done a lot of learning, so I wanted to put all that into practice by doing a Zone 1 run all the way through. I will be commentating over this, just explaining what's going through my head, what I'm doing, and how I'm taking care of all the enemies. So I'm usually just picking a random direction. This blue slime isn't moving, so I can easily kill him. And then, yeah, a bit risky going in the blue slime's path. Apple's good for HP. I also will be doing all of this with the dagger, just to demonstrate the patterns that I've been teaching, because a lot of the patterns get easier when you have a ranged weapon. So that's just showcasing how you can open up those barrels using spiked walls. So that skeleton was about to attack me because it had its hands in the air, so I made sure to move back. Now I'll take care of this blue slime. I'm just going to stay, quickly just check the shop. And yeah, that guy came out of nowhere, but yeah, I attacked him once, and then once he fell over I was able to get the rest of the hits in. Once again, just moving back. It's generally the safest way to play. It's just moving back and making sure that you are very confident with the enemy's movement before you attack it. Sort of the conservative style of play is generally very strong. Yeah, that large bat means it has double the HP and also double the damage, so I'm just going to make sure that I can safely take care of him. And same with these slimes. Generally I would advise checking out the whole floor, but here I skipped it for brevity. These keys can help you unlock certain things and give you an extra item in single zone mode. They don't appear in all zones mode. I'm making sure not to step on that gold because it's on top of the trapdoor. Just kill that ghost by moving towards it and then back. There was the little blue sparkly thing. Yeah, just killing those guys. Chest, which has extra damage. I didn't want to take that because I wanted to demonstrate doing this whole thing with 1 damage. That guy's got stuck in the corner, the yellow slime has, so I'll just go and kill him, and then you can kill the blue slime. So here I'm moving back quite a lot because I see that the green skeleton and the green dragon could both be quite dangerous when combined. So now I'm going to do the method that we talked about, where I hit once and then move back for the green dragon. Then I'll finish off the green skeleton. This blue slime is stuck, and that will release the yellow slime. So what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to plan each interaction, and hoping that by planning it I won't take damage because I'll sort of anticipate what's about to happen. So I'm going to move back because that zombie's going to come forward. I'll take care of the bat, making sure that he doesn't get me. So as I open this door I see immediately a monkey, so I need to stall once to kill him. I can get the skeleton while he's in the water, and then the bat. The zombie's turned around, so I don't need to worry about him, but yeah, I'm going to do this with the dagger. Once again, another blue sparkly wall with treasure in it. Just going to be careful of the tempo traps, moving back from the skeleton because he had his hands in the air. It's a good habit to get into. I need to stall once for this monkey and then stall again like that, and that way I can kill him. Yeah, I planned that I could kill the skeleton and then the wraith there. So I'm trying to stay very far away from these guys, trying to lure them out one at a time. And I can move towards that black skeleton, kill him. So yeah, I'm just following the Minotaur, waiting for where he lands, and then attacking 2 times, and then 2 more. Now I'm going to go back and finish off the enemies in the boss room. So that monkey I need to hit once, and actually he was stuck behind another enemy, so that's another important point. If an enemy is behind another enemy, they won't be hit backwards. So here we have King Konga. I did have to edit it in because I got a different boss on my run. So this was a slightly messier fight for King Konga because I didn't set up the Konga lines perfectly, so I had to move back here to take care of those guys. So a bit of improvisation there, making sure not to attack on the 8th beat, sorry, and then just moving side to side to kill King Konga, and up and down because he's coming from the side. And then I can attack him, and that's the run. So I hope this has been a helpful guide. Crypt the Necrodancer is a very difficult game, and some of you may be struggling with Zone 1. Don't worry. If you're not and you're struggling on the later zones, I will be releasing videos for these as well. But yeah, if this was helpful, leave a like, leave a comment. And yeah, as I said earlier, I will be taking the other bosses into consideration in future videos, so stay tuned for those. But thank you all for watching, and I hope you have a great day.